Hi and welcome back at the museum. Curating the DCC museum is a rewarding task. Not only are we preserving but also documenting history. Since 1996 we know that 42 commercially released recorders, portables and car stereos were made. Our museum is unique because not only do we have most of them on display, but all of them work. We are constantly on the lookout for special players like prototypes and also secretly for that next best thing, without even knowing sometimes what the next best thing would be. A few weeks ago we were contacted by one of our community members, Slava, and he told us that his biggest regret was not buying a Renaissance DCC recorder. We thought, a Renaissance DCC recorder? We've never heard of such a thing. He sent us some pictures, but as you can see they were very unclear. Researching more about Renaissance, it delivered a hit called Renaissance RS, a series made in the 90s by Samsung. We added it to our search engine because most of our volunteers spend a lot of time searching the globe for players and recorders. Within 2 weeks we had a hit on a local site in the Czech Republic. A phone number was listed and we called the owner, Milan Babic. He actually had two for sale. One was not working, that was already sold, that was the one that Slava saw, and a mint condition working Renaissance RS made by Samsung. After reviewing his pictures and videos, he made us a very reasonable offer and we purchased it from him. The longest 4 weeks of the museum started and today it arrived. Let's check it out. This could very well be the biggest commercially released find in our museum's history. Finding a DCC recorder that was not known to the community is a big deal. Could this be the 43rd official DCC recorder? According to Philips, Samsung had a license for DCC and also minidisc. Prototypes are almost impossible to find because there are only a few available, but to potentially find a player released in Korea to the public would be quite a surprise. The Samsung Renaissance RS with type number SDC300. The rose gold color looks similar like the Marantz DD92 and Victor ZDV919 DCC recorders shown on the right top here. As this looks like a second generation recorder, it's definitely not made in Belgium, where all second generation players were built under licensing. Behind this door all recording features are placed, much like the Optimus 2000. The door in portrait mode is well known for the second generation Philips models. Though it has a plastic front, unlike the Marantz, which has a metal front, the design is absolutely stunning in my opinion. Philips also made a version 300 shown here on top. It is a MIDI version and has some similarities. The closest to compare it to is the Philips 600 shown here. Though the display seems to be the same, the Samsung's is much brighter. Let's open the recorder to see what's inside. Let's compare the inside of the Samsung versus the Philips. Side by side, it is clear to see that Samsung developed next to a unique case their own motherboard and power supply. There are some interesting markings showing signs of an early model or still a prototype. I assume they meant trial run here. The missing official serial number is also interesting. By the end of 1992, when the second generation arrived, Philips was making the DCC technology available to several companies. This company brochure indicates that you could OEM any specific part or a complete DCC recorder. Samsung only obtained the mechanism and decided to build their own unique player. We notice this block on the power supply. Usually this indicates a voltage switch, but it's blocked off by a metal plate. On the Philips model it looks like this. After removing the board, we can switch the power to 110 volts, so we do not need a step-up converter. We are ready to service the recorder. It is not as service-friendly as the Philips 600, but we have to remove the mechanism for easy access anyway. Like we have shown in a previous video about the DCC 600, this mechanism has two belts that need replacing. We also need to clean the unit and check the pinch rollers. One aesthetic thing and visually not pleasing is that the door is tilted. When we investigated, we found that someone had tried to correct this before. We readjusted it looking at the shot lines. Our end conclusion is that the Samsung Renaissance RS is most likely not a prototype, but indeed a commercially released model. We base this off our comparison with other prototypes that have more signs of manual modifications than this sleek and ready product. We have not been able to find any details about this specific recorder, but the entire Renaissance series made by Samsung is rare. If you have any information that might help us, please contact the DCC Museum. For now, we proudly add the 43rd DCC recorder to the museum's collection. We hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.